Ocala, Florida, June 2nd, 2023.
Can I just get my
In the quiet of a summer night, a single phone call began the documentation of a tragedy.
Every time I turn around, the kids are always screaming and stuff like that. Someone's throwing stuff at this window. I asked them to move, they refuse to move. It's this constant barrage of stupidity. And her threat that she's going to come and drag my and beat me. When I started calling you because she wouldn't get out of my face, she just kept standing in front of me. I don't understand the attitude and stuff. You know, she runs over there, why do her children have to be over here screaming?
To a dispatcher, it sounded like a woman in fear. To an analyst, it sounded like a woman establishing a legal script.
It always says no trespassing, and they're always walking the dog's always taking a crap. There's poop on the sidewalk, there's all kinds of stuff. I said, can you please keep the dog over there?
Susan Lorincz, 58, was already claiming a right to defend her property.
Trespassing sign, and the kid tells me to shut up to my face. I said, don't be disrespectful to me.
But the person she was defending against wasn't a criminal. It was AJ Owens, a mother of 4, who simply wanted to know why her children's belongings had been thrown at them. Before the first drop of blood hit the grass, Susan Lorincz was already building her defense. At 8:54 p.m., she dials 911, not because of a threat, but to establish a paper trail.
Oh my God, this lady just tried to break down my door.
She isn't a victim, she's an architect, designing a scenario where she can pull the trigger and hide behind the law. She ends the call at 8:59 p.m. 2 minutes later, the air in Ocala would be shattered by gunpowder.
I shot through the door. Oh my God.
Okay, repeat that address for me to make sure I have it correct.
1662 Southwest 407th Way.
Okay, what is your name?
The collision of these two lives ended behind a locked door with a .380 caliber bullet.
Oh my God.
Okay, you said you shot at the door, is that correct?
Yeah, I shot at the door because she wouldn't stop. I told her to get away and she wouldn't. She just begging to say.
Inside, Susan Lorincz sits in silence. Outside, a child is watching his mother take her last breaths. These are the 4 minutes that will define the rest of her life.
Baby, wake up! Baby, wake up! Wake up, baby, wake up!
The first responders find a nightmare on the lawn. A mother is down and the shooter is nowhere to be seen. The neighbors are pointing to one door, apartment 1202. At 9:08 p.m., the law finally arrives.
Sheriff's office, come outside with your hands up!
When Susan Lorincz finally opens the door, she doesn't look like a woman who just survived a home in...
Get my med bag, start giving first aid.
The police bag? Green shoulder bag. Here.
Go assess the person down. Okay.
You're fucking done, She's still with us.
Here. Move. She's got a pulse. Move. She does? Here.
Yeah, she's got a pulse.
Where's the gunshot wound?
I don't know.
Right here.
What did she show her with? Here.
It's probably like a 22 or something.
Oh my God.
She says she has a pulse.
No exit, yes.
She's got pulse.
Very
She said
faint,
she's got
very
pulse.
faint, very faint.
Ever.
Oh my God. Hold the flashlight.
I got it.
Where's she shot at?
Right here. Right here.
Right here.
Chest. Right here. Right side of the chest.
Okay.
There's no exit.
I don't see a lot of blood.
Yeah, I don't see the blood either. It's probably like a 22 or something.
I got her, baby. Get my phone. Lucky, get my phone.
Can you make sure kids are with medical bags?
They're in my house.
That's the mother right there. That's her mother right there. Hey, boss man, keep the light over here.
Yeah, I know you're upset. Focus on CPR, man. Let me do the rest. We're together. Murder, not harder.
The neighbor.
Oh my God.
Can you fucking imagine if this was our kids?
Boss man, take a few steps back. Just keep the light right here. If you need to switch out, let somebody know. Got you.
Alright, hold on. Let me cut so I can see her.
Roller skate at him. And he went, or she came out with the umbrella too and was trying to swing at him or some shit like that. Okay. And then,
is that what you heard or is that what you saw?
That's what I heard.
Okay, well, let's just focus on what you saw.
And the only thing I heard was her knocking on the door pretty loud, right?
Who was knocking on the door?
The lady that got shot, right?
She was knocking on the other lady's door.
Yeah, like to see what had went between the two kids, you know, like
wait,
between her and the
kids.
kids.
Did you see anything or?
You gotta talk to the kids. You gotta talk to the kids. You gotta talk to the little kid and the older one.
Okay.
But all I heard was knocking and then a gunshot. That's it. No fighting, none of that.
But you didn't actually see anything?
No, sir.
No? Okay. All right. Thanks, my man. Stay around in the area. If we need you, we'll let you know, all right? I appreciate it.
65 or 13 Victor.
Hey! Over here. Hey! Oh, okay. Did they see it? They did. They took their
This is supposed to be one of the kids that saw it?
Yeah. Yes, over there.
Where is he?
Bravo 2 submarine, 65 1050.
This is him right here?
Yeah. Pulling into the Bellevue Christian Academy, Florida 28.
What's going on, my man?
Here at Quebec, India 18 on a white Mazda.
All right, first,
Here, give me this. It's okay, relax. Nothing happened. You're good.
What's your name? How much you need? It's all right. You can take a deep breath. Take as long as you need.
Reclínate aquí de la unidad. Recuéstate ahí. There you go.
As the paramedics fight a losing battle on the grass, Susan Lorincz is transitioned from the chaos of the crime scene to the sterile silence of an interrogation room. Behind these walls, the frequency changes. There are no sirens here, no screaming children, only the hum of a fluorescent light and the weight of a decision that cannot be undone. Susan isn't just a neighbor anymore. She is a suspect. And in the next few hours, she will attempt to convince investigators that a closed wooden door was the only thing standing between her and a threat that, according to forensics, never actually existed.
Just a moment. I'm sorry to keep you waiting so long. We just had a lot we had to sort through before we could come and talk to you. So again, I'm Detective Stead. I'm an investigator here with the Sheriff's Office. Could you give me your, spell your name for me? Is it Susan?
Susan, S-U-S-A-N.
And do you have a middle name?
Louise, L-O-U-I-S-E.
And your last name?
Lawrence, L-O-R-I-N-C as in cat, Z as in zebra.
Thank you. And what's your date of birth?
7/23/64. Passing, come on, I have it here. Okay, little big kids, you know, because they're all really young. And
So you say you came out and they were...
I wanted to check my truck. Every time I had my truck on one side, the kids would throw the balls and hit the truck.
Okay.
So I moved the truck to the other side, and they moved themselves to the other side. And they keep just, you know...
Just
hands in the air.
antagonizing you?
Oh, God,
Yeah.
horribly.
Okay, so when you said that you came outside and they were there, the three boys were there, where were they at?
They're right in front of, you know, that little cove that's
Like
there.
the privacy fence?
They were right there.
Okay.
Right in front.
Inside the privacy fence, like
No.
on your patio or
No, they were
outside?
just right outside.
Okay.
And I'm like, guys, come in the vestibule, the area. And they were like, wake up, wake up. I was watching TV. I'm like, really, seriously? Because, you know, after a nice long shift, it's just when I want to hear these little run.
How long have you lived there?
3 years.
3 years? Okay. And how long have you been having problems with them?
Like 2 years.
2 years?
Ever since she moved.
Is it just those same 3, or do you have problems with any? Does anyone else give you problems?
They want to play on that part where Charles Owens and the other part. And I'm like, guys, come on.
Which part is that? I'm not sure. I don't know who Charles is.
Charles is 11. So there's, one of the cops came out and said, oh, it's an open lot. It's not an open lot. It's an abutment of 2 properties. I'm like, guys, come on, you know, give me some peace, you know, because in my apartment, there's sliding glass doors, and then I have the 2 bedrooms up front, and because it's an open concept, just you can hear everything.
Sounds travel right
It's
through.
horrible, and you know, and I'm like, go play on the other side. We don't want to play on the other side, we want to play over here. I'm like, oh, good gravy, you know, and so they just, every time they see me, they get together and scream me out.
They live in the same building?
No, none of them live there. I was going to say, one set of kids lives there, but the other sits on the other side. They go play on your side of the road, you know? Come on.
Okay. So they were being obnoxious out there tonight, and they finally got quiet, but then you go outside and the 3 of them are out there?
Yeah, and I didn't want to go any further because he's like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, what in the world?
Who said that?
AJ's kids.
Okay. So who is it?
AJ, I think her name is.
Okay.
She actually had thrown a sign at me before. She picked up the no trespassing sign. Like, it's not mine, it's Charles. You know, he doesn't want you guys here. So it's just, you know, she's been in my mailboxes. She sends the kids in the mailboxes.
When did she throw a sign at you?
I want to say last year, just after I had my neck fused. And I'm like, oh, good gravy.
What kind of sign? Like one of the ones you buy at the store, like a plastic, like on the fence?
It was a metal sign with a little metal, like a real estate sign. But it had no trespassing, so it was about that by that.
Is it the same one that was out there tonight, or is it different? Okay.
They stole that sign.
So what happened tonight that led to the conclusion that...
Well, I'm like, kids, go home.
Usually?
It's in my bedroom.
That's where you keep it? Like in a cabinet or something, or just like...
It's just, I actually keep it in the trash can.
Okay.
Next to the bed.
I know nobody would look in there probably, right?
You know, and I didn't think about it, and I'm like, oh my God, and I just started panicking, and I really feared for my life. I mean, I'm brick. You know, I'm not supposed to be getting nervous or anything like this because I have an aneurysm on my left kidney artery. And so they're like, just, you're supposed to stay calm, you're not supposed to do anything. And this woman just keeps antagonizing me, and she's got the kids calling me. I'm like, I have a doctoral degree. Do not talk to me like...
Susan Lorincz is now weaving her primary defense, the imminent threat. She describes a violent pounding, a door under siege, and a fear so paralyzing that pulling the trigger was her only escape. But as she speaks, the frequency of her story hits a wall of cold, hard physics. Forensics teams found no scuffs on the wood, no indentations from a boot, no evidence of the pounding she describes. In this room, she is painting a picture of a home invasion, but the door tells a different story. It remained unyielding and intact until the moment her .380 caliber bullet pierced through it. She isn't describing what happened, she is describing what she needs the law to believe happened. Every word is a brick in a wall of self-defense that the physical evidence is about to tear down.
So you were communicating with her through the door?
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, just pounding that door, and I'm like, oh my God. Then I got scared, like terrified, scared.
Now, you had initially called,
because
did you call 911, or
Yeah,
did you use the non-emergency number when you called?
When the first time, because the kids said, I'm going to kill you, and my friends kill you, I'm like, oh my God, you know, what the hell's going on now? You know, I'm like, I don't need this aggravation.
Okay. So you called, was it 911?
Yeah, I called 911.
Okay. And that was before AJ came over? Okay. And the kid, okay, so we get, like, as the deputies are responding, the call taker's talking to you, they're putting information that you're telling them into the computer, which goes to us as we're going out there. So in that call notes, there's never any mention of you saying that they said that they're going to kill you. It was more or less that they're harassing you, that
Oh, no, I told the lady that they said they were going to kill me.
Okay.
No, I was very specific when I spoke.
Okay. Now, did you see who was out there at that time?
I just knew it was AJ by her voice, because she screamed at me before, and I'm like, okay, it's her again, and I just, like I said, I just panicked, and I just got so frightened. I was like, oh my God, she's really going to do it this time. She's going to kill me.
Were you still on the phone with 911? I mean, we got to kind of get specific about this because it's a big deal.
I understand.
So that's why I say it's important to be specific and honest about everything. So.
It was only because she was pounding at my door, and I, honest to God, thought she was going to come in.
Okay. So we have, over in our communication center, they're putting together, because all the calls that come into 911 are audio recorded, and there were several people even before. So there's open lines, we're recording and getting audio of exactly what's being said, not to mention if your camera's captured anything, okay? So that's why I'm like asking you before we go through that, and if something is different than what you're telling me, we need to clear that up now, because if it, you know what I mean, if the evidence shows something different than what you're saying, it doesn't look good, and I want to be open and honest with you.
I just know that she was pounding him.
If we reviewed that evidence, she wasn't saying, I'm going to kill you.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I honestly got heard. It's just what I heard.
Okay. Did you ever look out the door to see? And I know you said you kind of recognized her voice. So.
I never looked out the door.
Okay.
I was afraid to get to my door, to be brutally honest. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to bust it in. And she's gonna...
Where were you standing when you shot the gun? And you said you shot the gun through the door?
Yeah, through the door. I just panicked. It was probably at the kitchen table somewhere.
Okay, by the kitchen table. And how many times did you shoot the gun?
Once.
Just once? What kind of gun is it?
It's a Remington 380.
Is that the only firearm you have in the house?
No, there was a 22 Ruger.
Where's that one at?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I picked it up or not. I have no idea. Maybe the garbage can.
Okay. And after you fired the round, what did you do?
She said, ow, and I went, oh my God, I hit her. And I thought I just, nicked something. I never ever.
And what did you go out there?
No.
You didn't go out there?
No.
Did you call 911 back?
Yes, I did call 911.
Okay. And what did you say?
And I said, she was pounding on my door and I shot my gun. I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
Okay.
And she was threatening me, and she was saying, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. So.
Okay. So it's a Remington 380. Is it a revolver or a semi-automatic?
It's a pistol. It's semi-automatic.
What color is the Remington?
Black.
Black. And that's your firearm?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, we're trying to, like, get to, there's always two sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's the truth is somewhere usually lying in the middle somewhere. And I'm not trying to discredit what you're telling me, and I understand your concerns about, you know, this is your area. You want to be able relaxed and not have to worry about all this riffraff. Basically, yeah. Is it feasible to say that this is just got to a boiling point for you that you couldn't take it anymore? And because again, if this stuff happened in the past, I get it, but we're talking about a specific event tonight where she didn't make it a point that she was trying to come in. She was trying to get your attention to say, apparently, to stop throwing things at her kids. Whether you actually, I know, listen, kids can lie, I get it. And I'm just saying, whether that actually happened or not, that's what she believed, because that's what she was told by one of her sons. So she was coming over there to, I mean, does that ring a bell of her telling you not to be throwing things? No?
When you were on the phone with 911, you told them that she said that?
I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I mean, if someone was, the reason why I ask is because, like, if someone, let's say I'm not a police officer, or, you know, right, and I'm just at my house and someone's, like, beating on my door saying I'm going to they're going to kill me. Like, that's a very fear-provoking statement when you know, if you're in a legitimate fear that someone's going to come through your door and kill you, if you're already on the phone.
I wasn't on the phone, though. I was in the bathroom when she started.
You weren't on the phone with 911?
No, I was already off the phone with 911.
Okay, so she had already maybe made that statement before you even called.
So, the second time?
Anytime.
I was going to say the second time, when I called, she had already said it.
Okay.
So.
But the second time you called was after you had fired the gun? Okay. So.
And maybe I misunderstood, because what my understanding was before I had to walk out of the room was that when she was knocking on your door.
It wasn't a knock.
The way, I understand, you said that it got worse. Like so I'm starting off with and then we're gonna get harder.
She started off banging on that door, and it was, you know.
But during that initial time is when you had said before that she had made the statement that, you know, she was gonna kill you.
Yes.
Okay.
When the detectives ask why she didn't just stay in a back room and wait for the police she had already called, the frequency of her story begins to glitch. She didn't fire in panic. She fired a calculated shot at chest height through a solid barrier.
I'm sorry,
No, it's important that we learn the details, so that way as we gather and collect evidence, the details are what help us piece that together so we can see the big picture, right? I'll tell you that even as law enforcement officers, if we make a decision to, you know, use deadly force against someone, we have to sit and explain the same way with details. I did this because of this, making me feel like this, right? We're just trying to understand the details of what happened from your point of view, so as we gather our evidence, we can.
Does anyone else live with you, Susan?
No.
Okay. How long have you owned your firearm, or firearms, or any firearm really?
Trying to think back, like around 10, maybe a year ago.
Okay. And was it just for personal, like protection, personal protection?
Yeah,
do you carry it with you if you go out, just for home?
Only if I take it to the range.
Okay. Do you do that often, or how often do you think that you've shot at the range?
Probably 4 or 5 times. Okay. I used to be terrified of firearms, and then when the first time she threw the things at me, and she was just so horrible to me, I'm like, I had just had neck surgery, and I'm like, she could have really killed me, you know. And I just was like, oh dear God, she was just violent.
Now comes the pivot. Susan begins to weaponize her fear, painting AJ Owens not as a concerned mother, but as a force of nature, violent, unstoppable, and deadly. She tells the detective she was fearing for her life, a specific phrase designed to trigger Florida's stand your ground laws, but the frequency of this claim is hollow. To Susan, AJ's voice through a locked door was a death threat. To Susan, the knocking was an attack. She is attempting to convince the investigators that her fear justified the use of lethal force. However, a critical question remains hanging in the sterile air of the interrogation room. If Susan was truly the one in danger, why was she the only one holding a loaded weapon? The detectives are listening, but they are also measuring the distance between a mother standing on a porch and a shooter waiting behind a deadbolt.
Your door is kind of like, probably not wood or whatever, but you can't really see through it. There's no windows or anything like that. And I know your sliding door is a little further over, but it's closed. Was it locked?
Yes, it was locked.
Okay. And, you know, you said you're in the bathroom, which I understand you said it's kind of an open floor concept in there. So it's kind of open, but I'm assuming there's walls around the bathroom. You've got a door, you can close it. I'm not saying that you're within your right, you're in your house, you don't have to do that. But if I'm looking at a door that's secured and whether someone's banging on it or not, law enforcement's already on the way. At what point do you,
The door is broken.
The door's broken?
At that whole side panel, people have, she's pounded on it more than once, and he fixed it, but when everything started rattling so much, I was like, oh my God, she's gonna bust through it.
Okay.
You know?
So it's broken right now, or it was broken before and then the landlord fixed it?
He jury-rigged it. He put screws through it so that the centerpiece was supposed to stay in there, but she was pounding it so hard. I mean, everything was just rattling, and I'm like, oh my God, it sounded like a horse kick.
So
it was so loud.
One thing that I think my partner was trying to get at, and I don't know that I actually heard an answer to the question, when you're inside the house and she's on the other side of a door that you can't see through and she's pounding on the door, you make the conscious decision to aim your gun at the door and fire one round, right? Just one round?
Yes.
Fire one round. Were you trying to hit her, or were you trying to scare her off? Were you trying to make a loud noise?
I thought I hit really high, you know, I was just like, kind of, you know, this is the first time I ever really used it, where I was, you know, like...
Not on a paper target.
Exactly. I was like, oh my God. So I was shaking. I mean, I was just so distraught at that point in time. I'm like, oh my God, she's really gonna freaking come to my house. And I was just like, all I could think is go away, go away, go away, go away.
Did you mean to, were you aiming for the door?
As Susan Lorincz sits in the quiet of the interrogation room, the outside world is loud with grief. Thousands gathered in Ocala to say goodbye to Ajika AJ Owens, a woman whose life was measured in her devotion to her 4 children. The natural order of the world was shattered that afternoon. In a tragedy of the most bitter irony, these children weren't being tucked into bed by their mother. They were standing at a graveside, forced to bury the woman who was their entire world. Today, the apartment complex is silent, but for the Owens children, the noise will never truly stop. They are now growing up in a world defined by a single bullet and an empty chair at the dinner table. Susan Lorincz wanted silence, and she created a void that no court verdict can ever truly fill. The clock in the interrogation room has become a countdown. We are now in the final hours of Susan Lorintz's freedom. The detectives have finished listening to her narrative, and now they are beginning to dismantle it. The frequency in the room has shifted from information gathering to a forensic assault. Every time Susan claims she was surrounded, the detectives counter with the 8:54 p.m. call where she was the one watching the children. Every time she mentions imminent death, they remind her of the locked door that she chose to shoot through. You can see the shift in her body language. The scared neighbor mask is slipping, revealing the cold calculation of a shooter who thought she had found a loophole in the law.
Susan, I'm Detective Pender. Can I get you a water? We're getting our paperwork, okay? Would you like to have a water?
I have a little water.
You already got one? Give me 1 second here.
Susan?
Okie dokie.
Sorry, I'm freezing.
Susan, I appreciate you coming back in and talking with us. You already have a water? Is there anything else we can get for you right now?
That's fine.
You're doing okay? All right, very good. Again, if you remember Detective Stiff, this is Detective Pender.
I'm Detective Pender. I haven't got a chance to meet you yet, but I'm looking forward to being able to speak with you. I work with Detective Stiff. We work together. I was learning different things. So anyways, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and let him cover what he needs to, and then I'll get a chance to meet you then, okay?
So, Susan, obviously when we spoke the other night, it was kind of a lot of things going on still. A lot of the pieces of what happened were still trying to be put together. Since then, we've obviously talked to a lot more witnesses who were there. We've gained access to some video from around the area of where your complex is located. So during those interviews, during that process of obtaining new stuff, obviously it brings new questions that we wanted to kind of cover with you, try to verify some of the stuff you said, as well as clarify things that we don't quite understand. So I was hoping that we could do that today. Obviously, just like last time, I want to make sure that you understand your rights and everything. So before we get started, I just have to read you the same thing I did last time. Yes. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer with him, have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to execute these rights, not answer any questions, or make any statements. Do you understand each of those rights I've explained to you? Okay. And having those rights in mind, you willing to talk to us now?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said, we've talked to a bunch of other people since then. Has there been anything that you've thought of since you and I had last talked, in person at least, that you can remember that maybe at the time, because there was a lot of emotions and,
I don't know what else I could tell you, honestly.
Okay. So nothing that happened that night that you didn't remember at the time, or you just, like I said, there was a lot going on that you maybe didn't think to say.
I don't know what to tell you because I thought I told you everything.
Okay, all right. So some of the things, like I said, we were just trying to clarify because we were in the room together for a while talking, and we went over a lot of different things. So one of the things I wanted to clarify with you is and try to understand better is when Ajiko was at the door, when she approached the door, when was it that you realized that it was her coming to the door?
Because I said, "Who's there?"
Okay. How did you know someone was there initially? Was it because
it was a huge banging?
Okay.
Just pounding at that door.
Okay. So initially there was no words. It was just the pounding. Yeah. That's what started.
Yes.
The interaction there.
Yes.
And where was the pounding at initially? Where it first began?
The front door.
At the front door.
Yes.
Okay. How many times did she? But during that time, you didn't hear anything else? Did you think that she went away?
No, I obviously knew she didn't go away because she was screaming while she was pounding.
Describe that. When you say screaming, describe what does that mean?
You're not supposed to speak to my children this way. Why did you, and then she was saying, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, holy shit, and that's when I.
Well, you said there was like the initial barrage of the pounding, and you said, who's there? And she said, what you said about not talking to her children that way.
Yeah.
And then you said it got quiet. So there was no banging, there was no words being
No.
said.
Because I thought she went away.
That's what I was asking. Basically, I'm sorry
Yeah.
if I.
No, it's okay. I thought, all right, she's just gonna do whatever she wants to do.
And you said that was like 20 to 30 seconds?
Yeah.
And then did she start yelling again first, or was there more banging?
It was banging, it was yelling. I thought she was just gonna break down the door.
Okay.
So, I mean, my heart was pounding, and I was like, she's really gonna kill me.
Okay,
That's
so
all I felt.
when she first came up and where were you when she started the beating?
was
The
in the
very first
bathroom.
time? You were in the bathroom when she started beating?
Yeah.
And did you come to the door?
Well, I was approaching the door, and then she started screaming, and I knew who it was. And I
Okay.
said, that's it, I'm not opening this door.
Okay.
And because I figured if she came in, she'd be.
And when the banging and the yelling started again, where were you at then?
I think I was in the kitchen.
Okay. All right. And then what happened?
And then she just kept banging and yelling. I'm like, you need to leave. You're trespassing. Get off my porch. Get out of here. I'm not talking to you. Leave.
Okay. Who else was outside the door besides Ajika?
No idea.
You don't know?
I have no idea.
Where were the other kids? Because I know the kids had been over there prior to her coming over.
Yeah,
Or
they were right by the, where the fence is, and then there's a sidewalk. They were right beyond that sidewalk, inside where it's supposed to be no trespassing.
Okay, so they were outside of the fence while she was banging on the door?
No idea.
Oh, you're not sure?
I have no idea.
Okay.
You asked me when the kids were there earlier.
Right.
So, the kids finally, I went inside. I figured they left.
So you didn't know who else was out there at that
No
time?
idea.
Okay. So you went to the kitchen and she was still pounding on the door and yelling. And I know we've kind of gone over this a lot, but I want to make sure now we're getting more like in order of things, because the first time we talked, it was kind of just like it all came out all at once. And now that you've had a little bit of time to kind of think about things that happened again and try to get it in a good order that things happen, because it's very important to be able to say, okay, this happened first, this is what happened next, so that we don't get them confused or anything. Okay. So after that initial silence where, well, no, I wouldn't say silence, but it got quiet. When did you find your phone? At what point?
After I shot her. I just started searching the house frantically until I found it, and I wanted to make sure that I called and said, I shot, because I heard her go, ugh.
Where was your phone?
I think it was in my computer room.
In the computer room? Okay.
So let me just understand this a little better, because I'm not really sure. So the woman that got shot, what is her name?
AJ.
AJ, right? It's AJ.
Yeah.
Okay, and how long have you known her?
I really didn't know her. I just, she was a neighbor across the street.
Okay, so how long has she been a neighbor across the street from you? Help me understand that.
A year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, year and a half and 2 years. And in that year and a half and 2 years, how many times have you guys been able to talk?
We've never talked. It's more like screaming.
No, okay, all right. So maybe the better word would be communicate. How many times have you guys been able to communicate in that year and a half or 2 years?
2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times. And in those 2 or 3 times over a year and a half and 2 years, what were you guys screaming about? What were you guys communicating about?
She would take her dog and walk it on my sidewalk to make sure it's shit on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like, oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Of all the places you can walk and take your animal, you're gonna come here. She
Sure.
said it's the only place my dog would go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm
So-
like, no, I don't think so.
Okay. You guys would have a disagreement regarding that, some screaming regarding the dog pooping where it shouldn't. What else would you guys communicate about in that 2 or 3 times?
Then one time she was talking to the neighbors and she said, oh, that bitch over there is crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, sorry. I walked over, I said, what is your problem? And she just went on a tirade. I have never heard someone scream like this woman. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, she exploded. And I'm like, oh shit.
How long ago was that?
2 months ago.
2 months?
2-3 months ago. And then she was saying I called her kids all kinds of names, and I'm like, no, I didn't. And the more I said no, the more irate she got. Finally, I'm like, let me just back off, say yes, I'll apologize, and scurry away.
What kind of things was she saying that you called her kids?
That I called them racial slurs, that I called them slaves, and that's never happened. I mean, when she said, I'm like, why don't you stop already? Stop lying, And I was like, enough, what? I did call them retards once because they just kept coming and coming. I said, are you retarded? You can't read the sign.
Okay.
How many times do we have to tell you you're trespassing?
Now, all these kids nowadays, they have tablets and phones and stuff. Are you, I mean, you can tell us the truth. I mean, it's just us in here. I think we were looking at different videos and people were telling us about, we spoke to everyone in the neighborhood separately. Was there other times when you got frustrated or something with these kids and you've said something else that we're not talking about? I mean, have you said other words to them or something about middle fingers or something? Tell me about that.
It wasn't at the kids, it was at the gentleman.
Who's the gentleman?
I only know him by his name, Sapito.
So, okay.
So he's a guy, he gets all the kids together, so they're screaming and yelling and they're doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, stop already. And I asked him, I said, please stop. I don't like the yelling. I just, I'm sort of going to break down.
No, take your time. What is the crazy stuff that Sapito has these kids doing? Tell me about that.
He used to ride a four-wheeler. And he would come around the house. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Then you have the kids on the back, no helmets, no nothing. And I'm like, stop already. The one time I went out there, he almost hit me. He's like, missed you. Jesus Christ, really? And I'm like, I just can't deal with it. I have an injury right now. I have an aneurysm on my left kidney artery. If he hit me, he'd kill me.
So was it on last Friday that you were kind of giving him the middle finger then? Is that what I was understanding?
I may have given him the middle finger because they're just out there and I took a picture and he's like, oh, go take more pictures. I'm like, because.
What other kind of crazy things is he having these kids do? Is it something where
he would have them exercise and scream and yell, and the kids are like, we're tired, stop, we're tired.
Is he like a coach or do they play sports
I don't
or
know.
something?
I have no idea. And he's like, come on, you weenies, get moving. And the kids are like, no, we want to stop. He's like, you can't stop.
Is he the father of one of those kids that live?
I have no idea. I'm
not sure.
I don't know who he is. I just know that. And I asked him, I said, please. I said, one of my friends was murdered when I was very young. And she screamed. She was bound and gagged, and the guy thought he killed her, and she screamed. And so every time those little kids scream, I keep thinking of my friend Elizabeth.
Tell me about that. Whoa.
So, and I asked him, I said, Peter, please, these kids screaming like this, it's triggering me. I don't want to hear this, And he's like, you're full of shit. You're a liar. You're this, you're that. I'm like, really? I'm like, why would I tell this story and it's not true?
I know this is kind of not really related to what we're talking about, but what happened with your friend? Is that when you were very young or
14?
Oh my gosh.
So that guy came and he raped her and he beat her and he thought he killed her. And he bound her up. She was at Shulton Factory, the Old Spice factory in New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
And next to it was a children's playground. And he buried her there in a shallow grave. And she wasn't dead. So when they coroner said that there was all dirt in her lungs because she kept screaming. So every time those little girls screamed, it just kind of, made me think of Elizabeth.
Have you ever been a victim of any violence?
Oh, yeah.
Describe that to me.
I was raped and beaten.
Did that happen here or in New Jersey?
In Jersey.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
Started when I was 4, it didn't stop until I was like 20.
Okay. And was New Jersey police or whatever able to help you out with that, give you justice or anything? Was that ever reported to law enforcement?
No, because I was starting to be killed.
Okay. So that was something that wasn't reported. And was this from a known family member or something? I worked special victims unit for years. Okay. So this was from a known family member. Have you ever been a victim of some kind of violence from a random person or something like that?
Yes.
Describe that to me.
I was dating a gentleman, a doctor up in Michigan. And we were going to, move forward with the relationship and everything. And he got super drunk one night and he started beating me.
So that sounds like domestic violence, someone else that you were associated with and they did something bad to you.
During this final exchange, the reality of the .380 caliber bullet is laid bare. This wasn't a snap decision made in terror. It was the final act of a 2-year obsession with silence.
All of this with the state attorney's office as well. After talking to you for several hours on Saturday morning and then today, I feel that there was a level of fear, but from everything I've seen, it doesn't rise to the level for you to justify shooting through a closed door and with a firearm. Okay, and I think that wasn't reasonable what you did.
I felt so terrified. I just felt so terrified. Here she comes again. Again she's screaming, she's yelling, she's acting unreasonable. And
Susan Lorincz is left alone with the truth. You cannot claim self-defense when you are the one who brought a gun to a playground dispute. If you enjoyed this video, kindly subscribe for more. The final frequency of this case wasn't found in a 911 call or an interrogation room, but in the cold echoes of a Florida courtroom. On August 16th, 2024, the legal script Susan Lorincz had carefully rehearsed finally collapsed under the weight of the truth. A jury of her peers saw past the claims of stand your ground and found her guilty of manslaughter. As the judge handed down the sentence, the silence Susan had killed for was finally granted to her, not in the peace of her home, but within the concrete walls of a prison cell where she faces up to 30 years. It is a stark reminder that while a locked door can stop a person, it cannot hide a crime, and a bullet fired in anger eventually travels back to the person who pulled the trigger. Did you enjoy this video? Subscribe for more.